as long as you enjoy it, a weekend is never pointless. Welcome to Enterprise Weekend right here from Enterprise Television. I am Henry.
And I'm Roberta Piafo.
All right, in the beat, we'll be going to our newspaper headlines to see all that we have for you this morning. And right after that, in a jiffy, will be our main conversation also for today. So while we get everything all sorted out for you, please do well to be part of our community. Have a say in what we say by logging on to our site at enterprisetvnews.com and also like, comment, and follow us on all our social media platforms at Enterprise TV 7. With me today in the studios to do justice to all that we have Cyril Abaku, journalist and public affairs analyst, and Barrister Vansu Feli, barrister at law and also public affairs analyst. Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning.
Good morning. Yeah. All right, so quickly let's kick off on what we have today on the newspaper. Interestingly, it's an exclusive that we have, and that's on the Nigeria's best known whistleblower, who we know who's got missing, and we have it that Nigerians have taken to X social media platform to demand the release of an anonymous whistleblower, Pidom, who was reported to be allegedly arrested by the federal government, popularly known by his username 99% oppressed at Pidom Nigeria on X. The popular whistleblower had leaked many high-profile documents of the federal government, the security agencies, state governments, and private companies to expose corruption. Cyril Abaku, this is not new. Take us back to Danny Fawumi. Though those were days social media wasn't the in thing, but of course he did what we're experiencing now. If you can, bring us up to speed from that particular edge, right, to what we have today, and see if administrations in those era and now are in simpatico when it concerns holding on to those who are saying the truth and ensure that leaders' feet are brought to the fire.
No, so power must be put in check, or rather, power must be held to account. If you look at human civilization over the ages, right, man didn't evolve on the wings of democracy, he evolved on the wings of monarchy, because monarchy was the inevitable apogee of the trajectory of might is right. If you conquer, you take. If you conquer, you own. If you conquer, you subdue. The rest are subjects, you're the king. But over time, thoughts also began to evolve. That man can't be defined by bronze and will anymore, okay, alone. But a man's biggest treasure is his mind. So with that came thoughts. And with thought, we began to see that everybody should have equal stake as we are part of a geographical space. Democracy was born, okay? Now, even in a democracy, you cannot go and sleep. I think it was George Washington that said that vigilance is the eternal price of liberty. That you are free does not mean you remain free. You must continue to work at freedom. Now, so as in the military regimes, as in now a civilian era, there must be the constant distrust of power. No matter how much power wants to come transparent, wants to come clean, there must be that healthy doubt. Every skepticism that holds power to account. So it is natural, it is human nature that in the military regimes, I mean, we had Gandhi whose own public advocacy lasted many years. In fact, at the point they called him senior advocate of the masses. Sam, instead of SAN, he was SAN. Because Gandhi gave himself to the cause of the common man. In fact, at some point, he became a victim of his own heroism, in a manner of speaking. Yes. It was Gani that stayed on the Delegiwa case first. In fact, at a point, a court even awarded damages against Gani in fight for Delegiwa's for justice for Delegiwa's assassination.
Yes.
Now, when we come to, and you see, this is paradoxical because when we now bring this to the civilian era, some of the most notable faces that we saw on the streets, protesting, marching, fighting, in fact, doing more even other democracy, are now in power. Democracy without democratization cannot be democracy yet. Now, how do we measure this? We measure this by the liberty people are able to enjoy in expressing themselves. Power should not, first of all, attack the source of information.
Okay.
Its duty, primarily, and this is because its duty is to be the guardian of the overall common good. You deal with the message primarily, because that's what civilization can be steered from. Then the question of the messenger should be a matter of choice. So, for example, in America, was it the investigator, the journalist who revealed the Monica Lewinsky affair with Bill Clinton?
Okay.
It led with impeachment. But in principle, he only criticized the person that you went for investigating and even producing a cloth that had the semen on it. You know what I mean? But they didn't go after an investigator. Because you see, we must have common values by which we agree that the common good is greater than any other person, that personality. So somebody comes and says the president is involved in so and so, we should go after what the person has said and really invest prima facie evidence. But not to say who is speaking, who said, now this is how you know that this is corruption. They picked, he was an anonymous person on Twitter, right?
Yes.
They picked him up.
Yes.
Why don't you have the capacity to pick up the person that was tweeting Igbo must go in Lagos? They're still investigating that one.
Well, actually, it's a fry.
Fry how?
It's a fry. It's very minuscule compared to
maybe
the value.
You see the problem because the message Igbo must go, for example, can cause a cataclysm in Lagos, even if it came from someone that should be neglected. This is the matter that this Pidom was raising, right? Whatever they are, those are that power. That's what power should be after, to say if there's such corruption in government, if there's such rot in our system, that's the priority. Whenever the person can be a secondary issue, you want to know how you got the information. You should even be more worried about how your system can allow classified information to leak. Okay, that should be what you're after. But not, because if you get the person and so what do you now do? Who then is saying that they're going to arraign him next week, okay, and then you're arraigning on what counts? Have you dealt with the fundamental issues that have been raised? Then number two, I want to think that if I put Obasanjo, Yaradua, Jonathan, Buhari, I'm wondering whether I should dignify him by adding to this, but let me just add him because he was president.
Remove him.
And then Tinubu.
Yes.
By credential alone, one wants to assume that Tinubu is the organic Democrat on the list, given his character and history. So I'm thinking of how Obasanjo, who at the point tell magazine to call Obasanjo, Abacha, that is blending Abacha and Obasanjo together, that his antics were too much close to the Abacha regime. How Obasanjo and how this would have handled a matter like this, and why a Tinubu presidency wouldn't act as a truly democratic. You know what I mean? Yes, have it. So, but if this is where we're going to be in 2024, it means we have a very long way to go if democracy is our espoused road. Frankly speaking.
All right. So I would like to take a comment from X, and this one says, if they can find Pidom, but our medical students have been kidnapped for days now and still can't be tracked and rescued. Now, my question to you, Barrister Evans, these people, the government now have gone further to track this person down, Pidom down, and then they've taken him in custody. We do not have any clue or any idea whatsoever. In fact, at the time, they say he doesn't even know if he's still alive or he's dead. So, what do you have to say about this comment on X? This person said, if they could do this within how many days? But yet, we have our medical students who have been in custody, kidnapped, and the emir who died.
Actually, the latest news we have says they have been.
But it took them a very long time. It took them a very long time. And the emir who died, what happened? Investigation needs to be carried out. Let's know who did this. So, what's your take on that?
You are talking about government priority towards her citizens. Well, if the government want to clamp down on people,
yes,
they would rather clamp down on those who they see as a threat
to them,
to the government. You know, even though those persons might be saying the truth about the government, they want to ensure that they suppress them.
Okay.
So you that is a larger citizen somewhere, medical citizen or medical students that have been kidnapped by hoodlums or kidnappers and all that, you are just an afterthought. You are a secondary consideration. As long as there are people who are, you know, attacking government, they want to silence everyone. This is the same thing that happened to Daniata. Okay, They took him away.
Okay.
Till today, nobody knows exactly what they've done to him. Some person said he was killed somewhere and thrown into the bush. Some said he was killed and thrown into the river and all that. This guy, Pidom, 99% of press have been dealing with this government, unveiling classified information that will help the public.
Don't you really wonder sometimes how he gets this classified information, evidence and documents?
You see this cup.
Yes.
The day you take this cup is lifeless. Okay? It's lifeless. But the day you take this cup and put into one of the drawers here and call 4 persons here and say, please ensure that nobody sees this cup again. That is the day you're giving life to this cup. This cup will start to breathe. May even start to develop legs inside that cupboard to want to come out. So what I'm saying in effect with that analogy is that when government have classified information, it's somebody that typed the information. Okay. It would have sit around to come about that policy.
Yes.
Okay. And that policy, there's a tendency that it could be hacked. Okay. Within the officials, you could have some persons that have other interests. Okay. Maybe to sabotage the purpose of that information, or to sabotage the person who's in custody of that information.
Okay.
So you might leak it so that they will say the person who kept it is porous, is incompetent, so that perhaps is eyeing that seat. What I'm saying is this: as long as they are humans, okay, and as long when Judas Iscariot betrayed Jesus, and they gave him the 30 pieces of silver. Do you know when he came to himself, he returned it?
Yes.
You understand?
Yes.
So, but you see, betrayal is not necessarily that you want to gain and profit from it. Sometimes you have a profit with you. You don't know what to do with it. Okay? He returned and they used to buy a piece of land that was named
after him.
No, not after him. The place of blood.
Okay.
You understand? So, at the end of the day, what you have is that as long as you have people, the day you tell someone that this is the secret, don't tell anybody. You are announcing to the entire world, not just that person. You understand?
Yes. Because
the day the person feels like, I have to get back to you, or the day you quarrel with the person, or the day the person cheats you, or you cheat, or whatever it is, the person will want you to sabotage your secret, to sabotage you. So it will always happen. As long as it's classified, there must be an attempt to declassify it, and that is to make it to the public. So for me, it does not matter how it gets those information. But government, they are chasing him because those documents and those information, they are true. Yes, they are true. And that's why all this is going on. Okay, but I know we have a very strong, public energy on issues like this. It's on Twitter and a lot of people are talking about it. Okay? Yes. And this is a build-up to another protest, because sometimes government may have to, people may have to make demands to enable government do what they ought to do. If he has committed an offense, the government should be bold enough to tell us the offense, the charges and all that.
Yes.
To enable us mobilize lawyers for his defense. You understand? And let him be arraigned. Let him take his plea. Let the defense counsel go and work out the defense. Because as far as I'm concerned, I've never seen any offense he has committed. The government is not doing the right thing.
All right.
The government have not projected its vision. We don't even know the vision of this government. Where are they taking us
Renewed hope.
Renewed hope.
No, but you see, because the issue is quite... it's where we find ourselves as a country, right? Values have been significantly eroded. It looks like you're saying the same things every day, and then government is doing the same things all the time, and so nothing seems to be moving. What's the value of life in Nigeria today? It's nothing. But unless you say it's everything, but we have problems with bandits.
Yes.
Boko Haram.
Yes.
Illegal oil miners. Now, I want to think that government has gone over and above itself to identify who this young man was and to have gone after him. Why aren't we seeing corresponding energy
in this.
extended on what is arguably the most important issue threatening the survival of our country.
But Cyril,
Insecurity. Yes.
this is a universal language that's actually not peculiar to us alone. Take a classical case of the United States. Julian Assange has been in captivity for a very long time until they agreed for a plea again and all.
Yes.
Still boils down on the same classical case, the profiling, and of course, letting classical issues, come to the domain of the public. So what is different? If a country desires to protect its secret, but someone is there trying to let it out there.
No, so let's split. Let's try to draw the line here, right?
Yes.
The people that created the nuclear bomb for America, Oppenheimer and all the mathematicians and everybody, some of them are even teenagers. One of the mathematicians, I can't pick his name, he was bothered. He said his country couldn't take it. That if America alone came to have the nuclear weapon, that they become tyrants over the whole world. So he thought there should be a counterbalance. Yes. That's why he sold nuclear secrets to Russia. It was nice. Yes. Now, there is journalism, you see, because oftentimes I know that there's a line between an investigative journalism and what is not normally national security issues and so on. What's his name? Assange. No, not Assange. This other guy that fled to Russia. The security contractor. What's his name? Snowden.
Okay, Snowden.
Edward Snowden. That he felt America's reach had become too much, and that even the CIA had been put under congressional oversight because they always avoid one power becoming a superpower over. So those checks, the man had to say, look, America, what you're doing is I don't think what you're doing is right. So he spilled. Now there is a difference between national interest. In Nigeria, do you have national interest? Do we really have national interest?
There is now.
No, but I mean, who defines it? How do you define that? Because oftentimes they turn their own personal interest into national interest. So that is the problem. In Nigeria, if government had told you that for the love of country, would you? I mean, so that's the problem. So there's a lot of cynicism in the land. If you clearly draw the line between look, we already appointed an army chief who had houses in Dubai. He said it was money I saved over the years.
From snake farming.
From snake farming. And we should believe that.
Use money for snake farming to buy houses.
He was fighting terror, he went to university. We should be believing these things. In the name of who? We had the people who attacked the defense college in Kaduna. And come on.
You allow as a security chief, you allow everybody to come in there to pray. They were coming in to pray, and then those insurgents, infiltrated those people.
Yes.
They too came to pray. Before you know it, they understood the geography of the place, and they came to attack.
Then the Tutubiri bombing, and we have a political class in the north that told us that attacking is attacking them. So clearly, we've not curated any national interest.
Yeah.
And so you see what people are doing are reactions. And reactions follow action. So when we do and that's why I said when information comes into the open, right, don't attack the person who brought it.
No, we could say that our national security, our corporate existence is our national interest.
Of course it is.
Yes, that's our national interest.
Normatively.
Yes. But what Pidom and the David Ndeye and the rest of them,
yes,
what they are doing is they are attacking those bourgeois in our mix that want to define national interest to us, whereas it's their own personal interest. So these guys are saying no, you have to. That is not for the nation. Security and welfare of the people is national interest. Security and welfare of the people, national interest. Okay, the collective vision and aspiration for the projection of Nigeria and the steering of prosperity to all and sundry is national interest. Okay? Now, refinery in Malta is not national interest. Buying Orlando and buying NNPC and buying all public facility in the name of the country and then present it as the country that owns it It's not national interest. And that is what we are against. That you cannot run democracy like that. You cannot put an entire state into your pocket.
Exactly.
Look at Lagos State. As sophisticated as Lagos State is, Lagos State, if Lagos State were to be a country,
Yes.
it will be the fast growing economy in the world. As sophisticated as this Lagos State, there's no democracy in Lagos. There's no democracy. It's in somebody's pocket. The day he brings it out and spread it on the ground, that's the day you start democracy. As far as it's in his pocket, there's no democracy. Imagine there's democracy in Lagos and there's competition in Lagos. Lagos would have outstripped Nigeria. Lagos would be richer than the entire country.
By far.
Look at the tax. I'm a tax consultant, so I should know. Taxation, Lagos contribute 85% taxation of the entire country. So are we not seeing Lagos as a potential state that is perhaps possibly richer than the entire country? If they had democracy, I know somebody will contend this that we have a civilian governor.
Yes.
How was he voted into power? How did he get there?
Funnily, some people would say it's still very strange that Lagos State, being once a colonial, territory,
Yes.
and one of the fastest developing cities in Africa, still cannot bid for the Olympics in 2024. But that's a talk for
Another day.
actually. Let's move quickly to the newspaper just before we wind up today. The big story here says 2027, why Jonathan can't run.
And also we have, again, police failed to arraign protesters. We will sue federal government on Monday, says Adeyanju. Eyes on Nigeria's human rights abuses raise concerns.
And also, we have our reforms reshaping Nigerian economy. That's coming from aid.
Reform. Okay, you have taken that. Oluwari honors distinguished Isheri's sons and daughters today.
All right, so let's get to the issue of former President Goodluck Jonathan. Last week, there was this growing call from the PDP. The governor of Bauchi State said he won't run for 2027 if President Goodluck Jonathan, his principal before, desires to run. And now we have it. That it's not possible that Jonathan would run. I do not know. Do you see that coming? Do you think it's possible that because of the growing call, Jonathan might decide to say, let me give this a shot?
And also to add to that, I also want to add that do you think it's actually advisable for him to actually do a rerun again?
The reason of calling that a sponsored story.
Oh.
Let me just say that if Jonathan wants to run, there's a permutation, okay, that a certain section of the political elite, especially our brothers in the Arewa area, feel isolated or left out of the Tinubu regime.
Okay.
And as a result, are tinkering with the scenario that it doesn't return to power. In which case, their best bet would be Jonathan, who does not have a second term to seek if he became president today.
Okay.
So, if he came into power in 27, by 31, he'll be done and he'll leave office. So, it will be taken that the South has done its 8 years. Then the power goes back
to the North.
But this is what it is on paper, right? Nominally, it looks very, very plausible. But whether Jonathan himself as a person will even vie, right? And whether the dynamics going into 2027 will give him the red carpet. The only thing I'll say is that our president is not in the best position right now politically. This end governance protest shouldn't have taken place at all.
Okay.
I think he was led to believe that there will be no protests in the north. Then the protests happened. If you look back at 2012, everything that happened to Jonathan is what has happened to President.
Exactly.
To President.
Only that the locations are different.
And okay, yes, but southern presidents, right? So it will be an interesting match to see how things play out. But the card looks like a proper trump card, right?
Okay.
Yes, a proper trump card, and the president has to now work on his support base because the ground will be shifting under his feet without him really taking notice.
But I don't know why we're projecting Jonathan, or why maybe that story is also, I saw it that way. we are not looking at how to change the trajectory of our country. We're looking at who can run so that this other part will not have 8 years. So that this other part will not complete 8 years. So that to come back to that's what we're doing. We're not looking at someone who can fix the problem.
Now maybe
But
looking at
unfortunately, most often when we think we will have the right people prior to the election, when they get into power, it's still same old, same old.
No,
so how do we draw the balance here?
That is with Buhari now. That's with Buhari. For those of you who were, supported him overwhelmingly. For I don't see Jonathan as someone who have that capacity to do justice to the system.
Why?
He might be appealing to Northerners because he's easily swayed to want to be a likable person. Because the North, they have this vilifying tendency. Once they go against you, you have to work on yourself very well. That's why Tinubu have to do extra work once they go against you, because if they get a Jonathan will want to go and complete all the, because Jonathan's concentration was the North,
yes.
not even the South where he came from and all that. You may still want to go and do that. So he's a viable candidate for that selfish purpose. You understand? But I don't see him as someone who should be considered in any way. Let's have a clean slate. Let's project the kind of OB who's giving us a kind of a feel of welfareism. Okay, a feel of
transparency and accountability.
Yeah, a feel of transparency. How be it criticized that may be. But we need something different. But the likes of Tinubu came with the consistent traditional style of leadership, where bureaucracy, flamboyancy, and all that. We're just talking about the private jet and the Escalade. We're not talking about the 72 SUV that he entered Lagos with the time he came to Lagos. So the wastages is too much. I mean, someone like Pidom could be amenable. Okay, by virtue of, if it was Pidom as the president and there's a protest, I don't see Pidom coming to make address on this issue and bypass all the issues. That's witchcraft. People are protesting and they are dying. And the moment you came to address them, you just delivered a speech like a businessman. In other words, the summary of the speech is that I have made up my mind. You can be protesting. Government have decided that this is where they are going. You can keep going this way. That's only what he did. And that could have come from a normal person. When you lead, you should have empathy. If you lead without empathy, that is when you do things like that. You just unleash, this I don't care attitude. Where's the place of virtue? Where a leader will look at the citizens and see their needs. Or even when one of the citizens will touch a leader and say, who touched me? Virtue has gone out of me. Where's that person? Bring that woman. She has an issue of blood. It will stop today. And you are liberating the citizens, excavating them out of poverty. That's what a leader should be. But what you have in this man is the direct opposite of it. So, but if you have an eye for theology and leadership from history and scripture, you cannot contend with this style. This style is evil.
Yeah, very well said. We would have wished to go some more, but those are the sides of our package. They actually wanted to ask Cyril. Vice President talked about Peter Obi, and of course spoke about welfareism. But of course, we can't deny the fact that his tendency for new liberalism is equally there. Isn't that? Wouldn't we have a cul-de-sac when someone who has tendency for welfareism and also is a new liberal person?
So there is something about government policy. In America, for example, Bill Clinton had policies written for him by Republicans. And I think it was Reagan that had policies tending a bit towards the Democratic side. So, for example, Obama is Democrat, is reading red and right. What is he looking for there? Because these leaders came to a point where they were able to take opposing sides and find a way to fashion an image that. So, Pidom, yes, he's a businessman, quite frankly. He's a capitalist, actually. But leading a country like Nigeria that requires social welfare shouldn't be a very difficult thing to do. I don't think it will particularly affect his own personal standing as a businessman.
Okay.
It will not. So, and in any case, what have they now done? President Tinubu and those that came before him. What about the policies that they created that have put us where we are, taking subsidy away, and floating the naira, are particularly policies that Peter just said he was going to take subsidy away, but not this way.
Don't you think they are learning from the mistakes of Bola Tinubu,
Well,
which they would have equally have
well, who knows? But I mean, well, like I said yesterday, I can't put the man on trial when he has not committed the
Very
offense.
true, very true,
Yes.
very true. All right, so that's about the size of our package today. Unfortunately, we need to let you go. And unavoidably, and also excuse Roberta.
Thank you.
I'll miss you though.
Right.
Conversation. Not to say thank you to Pastor Bansufeli.
Thank
My
you
pleasure.
very much.
Yeah.
He'll be here to take us on our main conversation, and joining us virtually will be High Chief Peter Ame and Yunusa Tanku. Yes.
When Enterprise Weekend returns, Nigeria plans to reintroduce corruption-tainted school feeding policy. Do stay with us.